your paranormal coven here with Caleb.
Yep.
And we are going to be discussing how he got involved into the paranormal world and what he likes to do and so on. So without further ado, let's get started.
So, yeah, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Caleb. No one special. I grew up around weird shit, and now I got into weirder stuff.
Yep, sounds about like the rest of us.
I think that's how everyone gets started, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either a personal experience that gets us started, or one of our friends gets us started, or something like that.
Now, I know we've investigated together a few times.
Yeah.
In Waverly and once, and then Whisper, yeah. So.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get started.
Okay. So these are just kind of like, they're easy questions. It's not going to be anything like.
I figure if we have more things to add in between questions, we can just go ahead and add it and whatever.
Right. So we'll try to keep this quick, because we know you're at Whisper, so you want to investigate.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So yeah, the first one, which you kind of answered this, but when did you get started with the paranormal?
So it actually started whenever I was really young. I was in elementary school. I was kind of skeptic about it, but my grandparents' house seems fairly haunted. I ended up learning that years ago. My mom, and I believe it was either her sister or friend, was playing with a Ouija board in the house. And when they did that, my grandpa found out, got rid of the Ouija board, and shortly after they came home, every single door in the house was open. Cabinet door, fridge door, oven door, outside doors, every door open. And I'm learning about this, and I'm having weird experiences there. And just like in total, it just added up. And then I started getting into it a little more.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's never anything good that comes from playing with the Ouija board, but it never stops me. So
yeah, so you pretty well since that time just been a believer ever since then.
I was still skeptic on some things, and then certain things happened that made me certain for it.
Yeah, certain places and all that.
Yeah.
So have you ever personally experienced anything that kind of made you go, what the fuck? Like what's...
A couple times. It's especially gotten worse ever since we started doing investigations and everything. Mm-hmm. I know Waverly was the big one whenever, which is actually what turned me from being semi-skeptic into full believer when I believe it was me, Jackie, Jennifer, Mikkel, and Brooklyn walking down the hallway of the 4th floor. Yep. Damon wandered off, as he always does. And next thing we know, we hear, Damon's got this little shuffle run he does, and his boots are super loud. And then we're just like, Damon, if you're trying to mess with us, we seen you. Like, you were right there. We seen you. They seen him. I heard it. So we keep talking. And we're like, Damon, we know you're there. The only place he could have went was the OR, because we would have heard him going down the stairwell.
Oh, you're talking about Damon?
Yeah. And then next thing we know, we're walking all the way in the OR. Brooklyn's saying out loud, Damon, if you're trying to scare us, I'm going to beat your ass. We walk in the OR. He's nowhere to be found. So I end up calling him on my phone. He's on the 3rd floor of the opposite side of the building.
Right. Yeah.
And they seen the shadow figure. I heard the shuffle run. And of course, the 4th floor is known for, what is it? It's the double of yourself.
Oh, the doppelganger. Yeah.
Yeah. The 4th floor is notorious for that. And we think we've seen Damon's doppelganger on that floor.
Right. Which, I don't know if you knew this, but they talked about that for years at Waverly, is doppelgangers being seen there. And like you said, the 4th floor is the hot spot for that.
But it's crazy. So you talk about how you think that you saw his doppelganger at Waverly. The first time that we all went to Whisper together, I actually took pictures of the house when we were done. Mm-hmm. And there was a full silhouette in front of my camera, and it was of Damon. You can see through him, and it's of him. It's so.
But Damon wasn't right there.
Right, he wasn't there. So it's crazy that you guys went to Waverly before we went to Whisper the first time, right?
Yeah.
So it's did it attach itself to Damon, or I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, I have no idea. Like,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
But yeah.
So, what all locations have you been to?
So, in reality, I started with Tunnelton, which had a wild experience there for the first time. My first was Waverly. Waverly was my first. Then I'd never been to Tunnelton, so we ended up going to Tunnelton. Shortly after that, I've been to Whispers. This is now, of course, I'm here right now. It's my fourth time here, I believe. And then Indiana State Sanatorium and Bobby Mackey's.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. A couple of those places like we'd like to check out, but like we've been to Waverly, Whisper, Tunnelton, of course. Like anybody that's from Southern Indiana, everybody's practically been to Tunnelton.
Oh, yeah.
How was Indiana State for you?
Indiana State was interesting. So we went, it was February of last year. It was cold as shit, to be honest. But it was very calm at first. And then I ended up falling up some stairs. And after that, things started picking up. We were standing in the insane asylum when we started using one of the Ovilus apps on a phone. And Jackie's sister's boyfriend, Ben, we always make fun of him. He's a super hairy guy. We always call him Gorilla or Monkey or something. Ape. And then next thing you know, the Ovilus is just popping up with like Gorilla, Ape, Monkey, like all of this over and over and over. And then later we're in the nursing home. And the nursing home's, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like a cross shape, X shape.
Yeah, it's like the shape of a upside down cross or something.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're standing right at the nurses' quarter, which is the dead center. Like we've already been in the tunnels. We've already been in the sanatorium. We've already been, oh, hey, David. Hey. We've already been in the insane asylum. And we're standing there. And, of course, Damon, Jackie, Hayden, and Ben, all like we're looking down the hallway that connects to the sanatorium, where they keep someone peeking around the corner. And it's right where, like, the old smoking area was. Well, and so Hayden and Damon, the brave souls, go to investigate it. And then Jackie's reading through it. They've got old patient records. All the, like, everything that from 2011 is left there. So patient records, everything. She reads this one patient record with the specific name, Janet Gorman. Ben gets super aggressive and pissed off. We hear Hayden down the hallway say, "What was that name?" And we repeated, Janet Gorman. Every time Ben hears his name, he's getting irritated. Something's affecting him real bad.
He was not happy that me and Hayden went down there.
Yeah, and he was not happy about them going to check everything out. Well, Hayden and Damon come running back, go down the other hallway, and they're like, right here, her room with her name still on it.
Wow.
Ain't that crazy shit?
And then so the reason she had a patient record, the patient records were like incident reports. Yeah. And what it was is she was a 36-year-old who was in the nursing home. She went down to the smoking area and tried cutting down her arm to kill herself. We think that will be either residual energy or her, because we don't know if she's still alive or not. We couldn't find anything on her. We thought we found a possible obituary, but we're not for certain. But we're thinking that's the residual energy of her looking down from the corner at the smoking shack, because that's where she tried to kill herself at.
Wow.
I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah. That's crazy, though.
So I talked to Damon personally off camera and stuff about, but how would you explain your experience in Bobby Mackey's? Because a lot of people has the idea that this place is like hell on earth.
So I will say it was a little overhyped. Overhyped. But at all the places I've been super skittish and shy.
Yeah.
At Bobby Mackey's, I felt very irritated and outgoing. So actually, ever since starting at Bobby Mackey's, I started writing everything down that happens to us. So like some weird things, like we were getting high Milligal readings in the casino chip room. Me and Jackie were playing the game of pool to like try to like get activity going. When we were playing pool, her ribs started hurting. You could hear on like an EVP of like very like whispering laugh. it was very strange. We lost that EVP, sadly. But like we had one person, he was reading a Bible that we found down in the basement, and he felt something touching his back. There was like, at first there was the stairwell that goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing in that stairwell except the stairwell and a bunch of dust. Well, then we came back downstairs to the basement, and there was a smashed flower sitting there. Jennifer, our other friend, picked it up, and the next thing you know, they see a light anomaly. Like, personally, Jennifer and Jackie see the light anomaly shoot through them back into the back room where the famous song that Bobby made, I can't remember it off the top of my head. That's got got like the like water figure that's stuck on the wall.
Yeah,
it was shooting into that room, and they hurried up, put it back down like very quickly.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because, a lot of people bank off of that because I think, if I'm 100% correct, I think that the very first like actual Travel Channel episode of Ghost Adventures was filmed at Bobby Mackey's. Like that was their first investigation that they went to for the show. And, of course, TV hypes everything up and shit. But yeah, I wondered, because Damon even said the same thing, that it was not what it was hyped up to be.
It was.
Go ahead.
It was definitely, it was cool to be there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'd say you've been there for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, you only get 5 hours.
Yeah.
And we had
and really 5 hours isn't a long enough. Like, it's not a long enough time to even fully dive into even
Like, you're just getting
anything.
started.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's kind of how we feel like anymore, because we've been to locations where it's 16 hours compared to okay, you're at Whisper now and that's 8 hours. To me, that's a lot of those places. That's just when you're getting started, it's 8 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 5 hours would totally, I think, suck.
Well, even, I mean, that's a lot of money for 5 hours.
Yeah. Plus the drive, from where we are compared to.
It was quite a drive over there.
Yeah. I feel like if it was not so hyped up and you went and you caught evidence right when you got there, it would have been worth it,
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have just been like, it was more hyped up than what everyone talks about.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love
But
it.
I mean, that's the thing with the paranormal investigations. It's like, you go and you learn, and you spend money, you learn.
So I guess that kind of bounces off this one question I have. Is like, out of all the locations you've been to so far, like, what was the most terrifying place you've been? Or if you've not been there yet, that's fine. And what was your shittiest?
Definitely the most terrifying, most exciting was the first time at Whispers, when actually me and Linda were standing right here at this fireplace, and we had something run right through us. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we just looked at each other. It's like, what the fuck was that?
Right. Yeah.
And
which I tell them that too. I'm like, that was the most scariest fucking shit for me.
Oh yeah. And then there was Katelyn. I believe it was Katelyn, Damon, Brooklyn, and Jackie were all on the Ouija board up in the servants' quarter. And then we started getting the AM, the mama back and forth, which also connects to ZO.
Yeah.
I don't like saying the name after that whole incident, because I was skeptic of Ouija boards at that time. I was like, oh, one of them's moving it. And I see Jackie just like start dying in tears. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, I remember that. Actually, I mean, if you had watched our last video at Whisper, Leva and I were playing on the Ouija board, and we kept getting Zozo again. Like, over and over and over again. And I finally got fed up with it. I was like, are you just like portraying yourself as Zozo and you're actually something else? And then Linda kind of got cocky, and she was like, that's what it is. It's just joking around. And the Ouija board, it spelled out ha, and then it called her an ass. And I'm like, whatever that was, it does not like you for being an asshole.
And then we came back to Whispers, and it was May 19th last year. And we started getting Mama again, but then we also started getting Jesse through the Ouija board. But me, Damon, and Hayden, we were getting cocky that night too.
Yeah.
But it was kind of the same stuff going on, but like at the beginning of the night, we left all the girls. We left Olivia, Jennifer, Brooklyn, and Jackie all in the servants' quarter, sitting on the pew, no lights. Me, Damon, Hayden go upstairs. Oh, and Abby. I forgot about Abby. So we left 5 girls sitting on the pew. We go upstairs. We barely get upstairs. They're screaming. We come flying down like, what's going on there? Like something just smacked its hand as hard as it could on the back of the pew. And of course, we all know what's behind the pew.
Right.
So then we were also asking through the Ouija board, is any of the old family actually here? No. Are you holding them from talking to us? Yes. Like it's just over and over again, which I don't touch the Ouija boards. I let them do it. I don't either. But it's some wild shit.
Well, that's one thing, because we kind of split up and we did walkthroughs by ourselves. Like everybody went to the doctor's office behind you. Mm-hmm. We all would go out one at a time. And I clearly said in my solo, I don't believe the shit with this family here. Like whatever's here, I think was conjured.
Yeah.
And it's dark. For sure.
Well, I think that we've all been a little skeptical of that whole story since the first time we went. And we seen the picture of Rachel, and we were all like, well, is this real?
Like, you could ask Damon. Anybody that knows me knows I'm very, like, checking historical records for stuff. And I know not everything's going to be in records, but that circumstance, that situation, it would have been, like, there would have been records, like, let alone newspaper records. And I can't find shit, so I get it.
Yeah.
So, what would you say was the shittiest place you've been to? What do you say, Bobby Mackey's was the shittiest, or was there?
Yeah, just because there was so little going on. Like we had, like Jackie got the rib pain. We had a chair randomly fall over. We seen shadow figures. We seen the ball of light. We heard like metal popping, all this and that. But other than that, like it was raining. That whole entire building leaned sideways and leaks. Like I don't know how it was still a functioning club at the time. Like the ceilings were caving in. There was mold on the ceilings. Like, get me out of here.
Oh yeah, screw that shit, man.
It's definitely nice being able to say we've been to Bobby Mackey's.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I totally get it.
As soon as you walk in, it smells like straight piss.
He says, David says, as soon as you walk in, it smells like straight piss.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, maybe you rethink some situations, but so I guess the next question would be like, what is your dream location? If you could go anywhere.
Honestly, just because of what I've seen and just kind of reminds me of Indiana State is it's up in Pennsylvania. I don't remember the name of it. What is it? Penhurst.
Oh yeah.
I think it's old prison.
Yeah, we talked about Penhurst. I just don't know if I could go. I'm very sensitive to like sad situations with that. Yeah. And I think that I feel too much, especially when we go to locations. I feel too much of the energy, and I feel like I would just be miserable there the whole time.
Well, I think ever since we actually started diving into doing this more, I think it's really opened up Linda and I's like ability. Like we're more sensitive to a lot of things. So, I mean, there's certain areas that we go that it's just like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be too much for Linda, but yeah, I'd love to go. But yeah.
Another place I'd really like to go is Edinburgh Manor in Iowa, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one's super interesting to me.
Yeah, I just read about that not too long ago. And I wrote it down because we were like looking at different locations to go to. And it's one of them that I wrote down.
Yeah. I think just in Iowa too, I think the Villisca Axberger house, that would be cool as shit to go and check out. I mean, that's documented shit right there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's your go-to? I don't know. Some people like to use equipment, others not. Like if you like to use equipment, what's like your go-to equipment that you prefer to use?
Our go-to thing is typically it's a toss-up between Spirit Box or Ovilus. We've got a lot more out of Ovilus because, like me and Jackie, we just got married back in September, and we went to Hilton Head Island for honeymoon. But we spent a day in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
So when we were at Savannah, Georgia, Jackie's like, definitely, I want to go to Bonaventure Cemetery. So we're driving through Bonaventure, and of course that's another place I've been. Forgot to mention that. We're going through Bonaventure, and I'm like, hey, turn on the Ovilus. Like, let's just mess around with it, see what happens. You know, I was still skeptic of the Ovilus app. Like, it probably randomly popping up shit. And it does, you know, your typical death. It's got fear. And the next thing we get is bacon.
I've gotten that too.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Man, that is weird. So we drive down the lane a little bit, and I look to my right. You'd never believe the last name of the family plot that was there.
Bacon.
Yep, 100%.
It's crazy. I think when we was up at one of the cemeteries here, I kept getting bacon. And I was like, somebody must like bacon or something.
Right.
I don't know. And then I would find the name later on.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
I think a lot of people have a lot of I can't say that word.
Skepticism.
Thank you. I think about the Ovilus apps, or we use Necrometer.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think it's fake because it does throw out some like words that make no sense.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times when we get words that come through, it's so like intelligent. Like the responses that we get sometimes, it's like there's no way that just threw out that word at that time. We use that. We use app a lot.
Yeah, our favorites, like we use Spirit Talker a lot too, but then the one is Necrometer. That's like the main one we like to use.
There's the one that Jackie has on her phone.
I purchased the actual Ovilus app.
Okay, she got the actual Ovilus app that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I think I have that one too. It even looks like an Ovilus when it comes on and stuff. So I guess the next, like, is there anything you won't do? I know you said you don't like messing with your Ouija boards, but is there anything during an investigation you won't do?
I won't be by myself. I cannot sit in a place by myself. It's a weird thing. I do have a bad habit of keeping a light on. That is a very bad habit. But definitely, if you guys go to Indiana State, definitely keep a light on you when you're going upstairs, or you will trip up them. I learned that the hard way. They're concrete too. They're not fun.
He bruised his elbow.
Yeah, my elbow was bruised, and I couldn't put pressure on my elbow for 6 weeks. It was a great time.
Nice.
Most of the time, the only light we use is when we're investigating is the light we film with, like that mounts to our stuff. And any other time, I mean, when we first started investigating, like I think it was the first time, like you got to go to Waverly, Josh and Leva, and everybody got to go to Waverly. I kept telling them, I was like, "Look, your flashlight's going to be your enemy. Like, don't." And I shit you not, every 5 fucking minutes, man, somebody was click, 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 and I'm like,
but I think since then we've gotten a lot better.
Gotten better about it.
And most of the time we go in without any lights, and we recently just got a night vision camera, so the next investigations are going to be pitch black.
But like in the group, it's very weird. Like recently, you just started going off by yourself.
Yeah,
Leva just now recently started, but I was always the type that I
would just
disappear.
wander. She was the daemon of the group, of our group.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would turn around and be like, "Where the heck is Linda?" So, okay, out of all the people that you investigate with, who's your favorite? Let's start some drama.
Honestly, it is a hard toss-up between Hayden and Damon, because Hayden is super aggressive and cocky, gets shit riled up. Damon, however, it's funny to watch him because he'll disappear, and you'll walk by a room, and then you just like step back and look in. It's just like, why do you have this creepy look on your face right now? Just like he's just sitting, and it's he doesn't ask nothing. And we all think it's tied to one of the first times Damon and Brooke went to Tunnelton. I mean, I'll tell the story for them. They went and they were walking down the tunnel, and they seen like candles burning or candles that had burnt and like burnt paper. Well, Brooklyn's telling him, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. He touches it, and Brooklyn said next day he wasn't the same. He was an absolute, like we all know Damon. Damon's happy-go-lucky, super nice guy. Damon was an absolute dickhead that day. He doesn't remember that day at all. To this date, he still doesn't remember it.
That's one thing, like when we went to Tunnelton this past time, like when I go places, I don't touch shit. Like I don't touch anything. Like my hands stay like on the camera and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like everybody's picking up shit, moving it. And
I'm like, ooh, red button.
I'm like, no, because I'm a firm believer. Shit gets attached, it follows you. Like hell no.
Yeah.
I guess the next one was like, this is kind of a funny one. So if you would die tomorrow and you come back, who would be the first person you'd haunt?
My wife, Jackie. Immediately. Because so the main reason for that is because her grandma will come and like she'll come over and mess with us sometimes. But
Okay.
it would also give me the opportunity to meet her grandma. But
yeah.
I would 100% team up with Jackie's grandma just to make her life a living hell.
Like let's just double team her right now. Just scare the crap out of her.
If my grandma comes to me during my birthday,
She's probably like, "You better not die tomorrow."
She gave me a look a little bit.
So I guess really the last one is, do you believe in like cryptids? So do you believe in like, is there mermaids? Is there Bigfoot, skinwalkers, shadow people? Like,
yeah. I've always been somewhat a believer with that stuff, even when I was younger. Like my cousin, me and him were like, we'd look a lot into it, like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, all this and that. And then I started looking into more like skinwalkers, Wendigos, all this and that, which actually not too long ago I was out in Wyoming, and like that would be like a skinwalker area, because I know it's like basically the Mississippi River, the west of it would be skinwalker, east of it would be Wendigo. So we're in the Wendigo region, whatever.
right.
Like I've been to Arizona, I've been to Wyoming, and I've been to Colorado. I'm actually getting ready to head to Colorado, leaving the 28th. But like I 100% believe that stuff is around there.
Yeah. That like Bigfoot, it's still kind of like a touchy thing because, you know, people, there is so much skepticism with that, but I'm a firm believer. I think they're skinwalkers. Me and her, like, she doesn't believe really that there's mermaids, but I'm like, look, they only discovered like 5% of the ocean. It's her telling what's in there.
It's not like I don't believe in mermaids per se. I just don't think that they're like, because when I think of a mermaid, I'm sitting here thinking like Ariel. And I'm like, I don't believe in that. What I do believe in, I believe that there are sirens, which equivalently would be a mermaid, I guess.
That's what I just think that mermaids and sirens are pretty well the same thing to me, because the pirates are the ones that's pretty well where the story came from. And, you know, they were out in the ocean for months, days, you know, they had whatever they was seeing something out there.
Right.
So I think I believe in that type of stuff. Bigfoot, it's still kind of like it's still kind of a topsy-turvy kind of subject, but like shadow people, stuff like, hell yeah.
And like with the Bigfoot thing, like there's a train ride, I think it passes through Colorado or somewhere, it's somewhere out west, where a guy will actually dress up as Bigfoot and sit on the hillside as a tourist attraction for people, and they know it's a gimmick, but like you have like your discrepancies like that are throwing you off on it, and it's just like, is it real or is it not?
Right. So, do you like usually post like any like evidence that you catch, or you guys just kind of like?
I definitely write everything down that we've had happen, or like I save photos, I have videos and stuff. Like the first time I seen a light anomaly, the first time we went to Tunnelton, we found a set of keys, and then so this is the wild thing. The first time we went to Tunnelton, it's my first time there, was new to it. We're leaving. Well, when we get there, Damon was going to park like normal, just pull up into that spot, stay right there. something compelled him. He's like, I don't know why, but I'm gonna park the truck the other way around in case we need to just like get the fuck out, get out of here real quick. So we go up, and then we walk to the tunnel. We just got the spirit box that day. We're messing with it. We walk back to the tunnel, go down the car. I'm like, hey, there's a set of keys here because I was using a light and it shined in the light. And I'm looking at them, and I have a picture of the keys. I'm sitting there looking at the keys. I'm getting ready to touch them. And Jackie's like, hey, don't touch them. I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting ready to get in the truck. And I look back, and there's a set of headlights coming. And then we're like, all right, hurry up, get in the truck. Let's go. We got in the truck, started going down. And then we're going down. And all of a sudden, the headlights disappeared. I was like, all right then. And I'm like, I'm shining a light back there. I'm like, okay, they're going. Let's go. We keep driving down. They show up again. Out of nowhere, they showed up again. Like they just disappeared and then they showed up again.
You know, that's one of the accounts a lot of people have said. And I know when we went, I don't know if so much happened when we went, but I know times in the past I've went before, there'll be headlights.
Yeah.
And it's like they call them like phantom cars.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's like it's there and then it's not. It's there, then it's not.
And it like chased us all the way out of there. And like from now on, like I know some people are like weird on everything. Like I will not go to Tunnelton without a firearm again. Ever since that happened, it's like 100%. I've got something on me.
Well, that's not only that. Like a lot of people doesn't realize, like Tunnelton, the town itself, it's kind of a creepy little town, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then some of the locals, you know, they don't like other people coming in, you know. And then because everyone knows, hell, everybody goes to the train tunnel. But I know the last time we went, we could hear howling.
Oh, yeah.
From inside the tunnel. And we was like, what the hell is that? And then we stopped and we were kind of close to the end and you could hear something gnawing on something. And luckily, you know, we had a firearm with us and stuff, but it was like, we started walking and the fear, it's like, yeah, you got to worry about people. I'm not worried about ghosts. I worry about people and animals. And, you know, there was the fear is like, what if there's some either big ass cat, something down here eating something?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was just, that was the fear of that. And then we didn't realize at the time when we got at the end, we didn't see anything. But when I was panning the camera, I caught a set of eyes up on the hillside watching us. And we could hear movement up there. So.
And that was even like Indiana State. Indiana State's wide open. There's no doors that open and close. Like you walk right in the building, you're in. Well, when we're in the headquarters building or whatever you want to call it, I just stepped outside to go to make a phone call and I had to use the bathroom. So I just went outside because someone else was already in the bathroom. And I swear up and down, I heard it sounded like a wild boar.
Yeah.
But of course, me and Hayden both had firearms on us because there's a chance of coyotes. We're so far out in the open. It's so many acres. But now I'm learning that especially next time, I'm definitely going to have something because now they have so many trespassers happen, all this and that. It's a very interesting place.
Yeah, we're talking about going.
Yeah. Like I've told them, I'm not worried about ghosts. Like, because that's one thing, like Hayden had told me about like animals. And then he recently had told me about, you know, people. So yeah, that's the big thing. It's like, all of us packing when we go because we do like to split up, but then there's fear, you know, we come across something.
Our one rule when we were there was like, no matter what, if we're splitting up, one person in the group has to have something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that'll probably be one of the locations that we don't necessarily split up between buildings. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll split up in a building, but not
split between buildings.
Yeah.
And with the tunnel system and everything there, it makes it even more advanced.
Yeah.
That's scary to think about.
It is.
Because then, you know, a lot of times you get with some, you know, unfortunate homeless people and they're very territorial.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of them maybe have mental, you know, illness or something and they believe that you're trying to take their turf and all you're doing is just exploring,
Yeah.
it's
And thankfully, with Indiana State, it's privately owned, and they do keep people out of it and everything. But it's just a gate with a chain. That's it. There's no lock on it. You can just open it right up. But people have been walking in from the woods and getting in.
See, my fear is going to locations like that and finding a dead body inside.
Yeah, I can see it.
I don't know how I would react to see one, but I just know that I would shit myself. And then I'd instantly feel guilty for no reason. Because then I'd be like, I had to call the cops. The cops are going to come. They're going to think I killed them. And then I'm going to have to, like, my head just fucking spirals. Like, I can't do it.
well, we won't keep you on here. We know that you want to get out and investigate, but thanks so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
Feel free anytime. And hell, one of these days, hopefully soon when it warms up a little bit, hopefully we all go investigate somewhere together.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully we can get something started soon because I know we're doing this tonight. I think they've got like 4 or 5 cameras rolling right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Indiana State in March. I know Jackie. She's really wanting to go to Ashmore State. That might be a place to go
Leva's
to.
dying to go. Maybe we just need to throw Leva and Jackie together and
Right.
go to Ashmore.
But you go together. Good luck.
But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a hell of a place. I think the thing is there's like no heat, no air. Like it's
Indiana State's the same way. It's run down. They're rebuilding the mansion, but the rest, other than that, it's run down.
damn.
And to think it only shut down in 2011, and like the ceilings are falling apart, all this and that. It's very rough.
Dang.
Alrighty. So I guess that's going to be it for this. Thanks so much, Caleb. Like I said, anytime you want to come on, let us know. Also, like we'll get together soon and go investigate somewhere.
Yeah, we'll find a location. We'll go.
Yeah.
Go investigate.
Because we
We'll
always-
locate somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's been Paranormal Coven. You all have a good night. Hey guys, if you like this video and you want to see more of them and us have special guests on, be sure to leave us a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, favorite, follow us on all platforms. Hit the notification bell so you guys get notified every time we post a video.
Yeah, we have lots of friends who have their own paranormal investigation teams and they have their own personal stories. So we have a lot of people that we could talk to and we could provide more content for you like that if you like it.
And eventually, here soon, we'll probably end up joining some of our friends that live right here in Salem that investigate the paranormal and go to some locations so you get to meet everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm Linda.
I'm Katelyn.
And once again, guys, this has been Paranormal Coven.